So you picked up the kids dressed like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm just wondering why you have somebody posing as a little girl interacting with elementary school age children.
The guy was harmless. He drove his bus, dropped off his student, and went on his merry way.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at St. Michael, the Archangel Catholic Elementary School in Vaughan, Ontario. And could it be we have a sequel to the infamous Busty Lemieux story? Now, of course, you remember Busty Lemieux. He was that shop teacher at the Halton District School Board who dressed up as a grotesque caricature of a female, including Z-cup breasts. That was until Lincoln J and I busted him, if you will, outside the Mapleview Mall in Burlington. Because remember, he said he had a medical disability, that the breasts were not props. Well, check out the video evidence.
They were wearing your breasts. I thought your breasts were real. Where are your breasts? Why are you dressing inappropriately in front of children?
Now, in the aftermath, we found out from a source that led to his dismissal at the Halton District School Board. But because we live in woke Canada, the Hamilton Wentworth District School Board decided they must have this person. Unbelievable. But then again, we live in a country where if you're caught with a small amount of child pornography, you get to walk. Incredible. Now, the reason why we're at this school is because last week, there was a very bizarre encounter. Namely, it was not necessarily the school bus, but who was driving the school bus. Check out this video.
And I don't think there's any trouble.
So you picked up the kids dressed like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Why do you call your bus the Lolita Line? Why is it called the Lolita Line? Why is it called the Lolita Line? Somebody's gonna talk to sick people.
Like when people are mentally sick, you can't talk to them. Let them drive.
That is absolutely astonishing, and even more so disturbing, I should think, folks, is the fact that he had a sign in the windshield of the bus saying the Lolita Line. Now, you might recall that back in 1955, Lolita was a book, and the plot was about a professor who became obsessed with a 12-year-old girl, ends up kidnapping her, molesting her. I don't think Lolita is a term you want to use, especially amongst minors. I should point out that the Lolita Line could also be a perverse reference to child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein's so-called Lolita Express. This was the plane named for its role in carting trafficked victims between Epstein's various properties. Now, we spoke to the father who took that video. He doesn't want his real name used. He didn't want to come on camera, but he has reached out to the principal here. He's reached out to the school board and even, I understand, York Regional Police, because to the community, to so many parents, and we spoke to many of them at a nearby playground, this is incredibly disturbing. Now, there's another element to the story, folks. That very same day, that school bus was spotted being driven by a man pretending to be a little girl. There was another man on the sidewalk. He was displaying some pride propaganda. When I saw the photo, I went, I don't believe what I'm seeing. That's got to be Paul DeBono. He is or was a teacher with the Toronto Catholic School Board. He's incredibly radicalized when it comes to the rainbow agenda. Allegedly, he has claimed that Jesus was not only black, but also transgender. And we encountered him a couple of years ago at the York Catholic District School Board in Aurora. They were having a vote whether or not the school board was going to raise the pride flag. Mr. DeBono had nothing to say, but his allies, rather, they did the talking for him. Here, check out this descent into madness. Hey, Mr. DeBono, what brings you up to the York Catholic Region District School Board? David Menzies. I tried to reach out to you, but you blocked me. Now, you claim that Jesus Christ was a transgender racial person. I think black or brown. Is that correct? You're no longer at the school. Now, have you been transferred or have you been fired? No, you can't articulate your points, Mr. DeMono. I thought you were a teacher. No. Are you teaching at another school?
Because y'all are idiots.
Pardon me?
That's all I'm going to say.
You're just a bigot? You can go.
Oh, what makes me a bigot, ma'am? Or sir? I'm not sure. I didn't misgender you, did I?
Oh, please, go fuck yourself.
Oh, that's not very ladylike.
Oh, now you're fucking misgendering me. Ladylike.
Oh, well, what are you exactly?
None of your fucking business. What are you?
But you said I misgendered you. If I don't know what you are, how can I not misgender you? So the question arises, folks, what is going on here? Why is there a man pretending to be a little girl driving a school bus with the signage stating the Lolita Line? Why is Mr. De Bono showing up outside a Catholic elementary school in Vaughan, Ontario, when his place of employment was the 416? You know what I think? I think two things are at play here. It is more of these radicals in that community trying to indoctrinate children, but also, as the saying goes, follow the money. I suspect this school bus driver is purposely trying to get fired, and when he does, he will go running to the Ontario Human Rights Tribunal, and he will claim 5 or even 6 figures worth of damages. And given the crazy woke state Canada is in, I would bet on him winning it. Now, we've asked around, folks, and nobody knows the identity of this mature man cosplaying as a little girl. But I'm pretty much sure the bus company would know. These buses are on contract to the York Catholic District School Board. It is a company called Landmark where these buses originate from. How about we go down the road and see if anyone at Landmark is there, and can they possibly explain why this is being tolerated, why a man would dress so inappropriately around young children and call his bus the Lolita Line. Let's check it out. Hey, how you doing there? I'm David Menzies, Rebel News. I'm just following up a story about...
We're not interested. You have to leave right now, please.
Oh, I do? Okay.
Thank you, though.
It's about a man posing as a little girl driving a school bus.
Yeah, no, you need to leave. Thank you.
But he works for your company.
Leave now, please.
Do you think that's appropriate, though? No. Anybody? Do you folks work for Landmark?
Can you leave the building, please?
We will, but I'm just wondering why you have somebody posing as a little girl interacting with elementary school age children.
Leave the building and stop filming me.
Okay.
You're not allowed to be in here.
What's the name of this driver, ma'am?
Leave the building.
I'm leaving, but why do you think it's appropriate to hire somebody like that?
We shouldn't be asking
No.
your PM that.
Leave.
We should be asking the Prime Minister that, sir? You know, maybe I should. Do you think Mark Carney supports this? Okay. Well, folks, we tried. We've been told to leave the building, and so we are. So, what have we learned? I think that this company, Landmark, is in a bit of a pickle. Of course, it's completely inappropriate for some mature male to dress as a little girl and to have the sign Lolita Line on his bus. I should have asked her about that, but she was very upset to see us. It is inappropriate, as I said, but given the nature of our country these days, isn't this an expression of diversity, equity, and inclusion? Isn't this about trans rights or something like that? So obviously, I think this company has received some blowback, but I would argue not a good look. They shouldn't be covering up this story. They should be getting ahead of it. But clearly, there were no answers to my questions. We were told to leave. And so here we are. It is private property. So I guess tomorrow I will reach out to the principal. I will reach out to the school board. I will reach out to York Regional Police and try to get to the bottom of how a mature man is posing as a little girl and driving around a landmark school bus with the sign, the Lolita Line, in the windshield. Does it get any more bizarre than that? So folks, in the aftermath, I did reach out to the principal at the school. He wasn't available, but I did speak to the receptionist there about the creepy school bus driver. Check out this voice recording.
Why don't the parents just call the bus company instead of bugging the school all the time? Honestly, it's just an education center. We're just trying to teach kids.
Oh.
It's so frustrating that parents can't be educated themselves and call the people direct that hire the bus drivers.
You know, I think that's a very valid point, and I can tell you, ma'am, my cameraman and I went out to Landmark Bus Lines yesterday, and they were completely belligerent. We were told to leave the premises immediately, and they wouldn't answer any of our questions. So maybe that's one of the answers, So I'm just trying to find out what's going on. I'd love to hear.
Well, there's nothing going on. The bus driver got transferred to another route, and they're done with. The parents won. They should be happy.
Oh, so see, that's news to me. I didn't know he had been transferred.
Well, but honestly, it doesn't matter. The guy was harmless. He drove his bus, dropped off his student, and went on his merry way. I think everybody's just being a little ignorant about it.
But ma'am, if I can ask you,
I'll send your message to my principal. But he has bigger things to deal with than all this stuff. We're trying to run a school. We're just trying to keep the kids safe, and they are safe. Nobody's been injured. Nobody's been hurt.
Well, there you have it. And, she does have a point. It is not the school or the school board hiring the bus drivers. These services are contracted out. Why Landmark wouldn't give us a statement is absolutely baffling. And I did reach out to them to ask them even if they have a dress code and if they have a signage policy at Landmark Bus Lines. And to date, no response. Now, I also reached out to the York Catholic District School Board to see if they were aware of this, and they sent me a statement by email as well. It reads, quote, "The York Catholic District School Board is aware of a social media video filmed at St. Michael the Archangel CES. Third-party companies provide school busing in Ontario. School board staff immediately brought this matter to the bus driver's employer. The company acted quickly to address the situation with its employee and assured the board that this will not be an issue going forward. All bus drivers in Ontario are required to pass a vulnerable sector screening with their local police department, and they receive extensive training before transporting students. The board followed all of its child protection procedures after this incident," end quote. And just for clarification, I reached out to the spokesman for the York Catholic District School Board to confirm that this bus driver will not be servicing any of the schools in the district, and he said that is indeed the case. So at least for the York Catholic District School Board, this problem has been eliminated, but I have a hunch that the problem's not over. It is simply being transferred to some other school. Folks, if you see a bus driver, a mature male, dressing up as Sailor Moon and displaying on his windshield the Lolita Line, please reach out to us at tips@rebelnews.com. Folks, have you had it up to here with the attacks on our innocent youth? Well, we sure have. Please go to stopclassroomgrooming.com. That's stopclassroomgrooming.com. Sign the petition, and if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.